Hey audio everyone, Lostity here, back in action for more big attraction. If you can't really tell, just by the size of it, I don't think you can. Good job framing, Lost. Good job. I I am back from top surgery, and I have to say it was not exactly what I thought it'd be. I was definitely picturing these to be far bigger. I mean, obviously there's more jiggle to it and everything like that. And it hurts a lot more than I thought it would. For the first 3 days, I was just stuck in bed, popping pills because I was in so much pain and completely exhausted from the whole situation. The surgery itself took about 3 hours to do, with me kind of blacking in and out when it came to coming back from surgery, because when you're doing top surgery, apparently the norm now is they do out service recovery. So basically they'll just monitor how you go about and just make sure that you're fine the way you are and everything. And it's one of them situations where it sucks that I can't be in a hospital filled with drugs, because I really wanted that. I think that would have been the better solution. Obviously with the bottom surgery, I think that will indeed happen. But as to when the bottom surgery will happen, I don't know, because I didn't know I was going to get these to begin with. Will I ever get FFA, face reconstruction surgery? I forget exactly what it's called. I don't think I will. My girlfriend likes the way my face looks. I've been told by other people they like the way my face looks. So I'm kind of content on that situation. So it's more a matter of, I want to like start exercising and being able to do things right. And I'm trying to walk a bit more as time goes on with this top surgery recovery, because I was lying in bed for actually 5 days. Just 3 of them were complete blanks, and I don't remember a whole lot. I will say though, in terms of like the other recovery surgery that I had, which was a gallbladder surgery, it was a needed one, a much needed one. As in, if I did not get it, I'd probably be dead. That one in particular was harder to recover from, because it was all in the midsection of my body. It wasn't the top part, it was the midsection. So it ended up being to where I couldn't fucking walk very well. I couldn't like move my hands very well. With this one, it was mainly just recovery time. This arm was very hurty, because apparently this side over here had to get bigger. And this side over here is just fine. But on top of that, I think those little beds that they have, they're a little too small for me. So because of that, this arm right here kept getting pushed to the side to the point where like it was hurting a lot. And the car that I was going in with also does not have leg room for this, or arm room, or whatever you would call it. So the whole entire shebang was fucking awful, and it was the biggest amount of pain that I had over this itself, over the actual booba surgery. And like, yeah, they are bigger. There is a noticeable thing there. I'm trying to move them around and touch them when I can, so they could settle and do their thing, because that's what you have to do after, I think, 5 days or something like that. I need to actually read the thing again, to be honest. Not the best at the whole situation. But in terms of walking around, in terms of like actually playing games and things like that, I could do that now. It's just a matter of like, cleaning myself is still a problem, hence why I don't really want to stream right now. I'm probably not going to stream until next month, simply on that premise alone, and even then I might have a surprise for y'all and do something entirely differently, because I'll be real, having to shower in order to stream is a bit more of a stress test than it should be. But still, I try to look nice for y'all today. My mom was able to wash my hair. My hair is a bit washed, but I still feel very sweaty, and I feel like a lot of like dirt is still there. But I did end up showering. I think it was Sunday or some such like that. So it was like 2 days away from this actual date. And for those that don't know, you do not need to shower every day, but you should at least rinse yourself or something. That's the best kind of way to do it. Suffice to say, I'm probably going to ask to get another shower at some point soon. But in order to take showers and whatnot, they need to like replace certain little things that are like holding it together and everything. So it's a process for sure. And I wasn't able to shower for, I think it was a week or something. Then we went in for a checkup. I was able to walk to that said checkup. My mom was very, very stressed about the whole situation. I was just like, it's fine. I can make it. It'll be fine. Like, I literally just need supports to make sure that, like, the rest of me doesn't fall over. Like, comparatively so, with gallbladder surgery, I needed a cane at all times for a solid week and a half because of how bad that recovery was. Your center self really carries a lot of your support. And the only thing that I'm really struggling with nowadays is getting out of bed, because I feel like a fucking turtle every time I have to do that. I have to lie on my back. I cannot lie on my side. I cannot use my arm strength the way that I want to use it all the time, where I pull up or I pull other ways and whatnot, because it is bad for like scarring and tissues and things like that. So I'm trying to keep that to a minimum. What I'm doing right now is fine because I'm not actually lifting things. I'm not taking things. Although I will say I am feeling very tired from the actual hand movement that I am doing, simply because it's a lot. So I think I'm going to stop that right now. Regardless, I would have gotten top surgery again for sure. I might even get it again still, just to make the booba bigger. I'll be real. I kind of want it to be ridiculous proportions, not just a simple, like, oh, it fits my frame. That's nice and all, but kind of want to have big mommy milkers, if you know what I feel. You know, like, that's what I was picturing the whole entire time. And the way the doctor described it to me is they're going to give me the biggest ones. And I was like, yes, I want the biggest ones. I guess that was just towards health insurance or some such like that. I do not know. Regardless of the fact, I'm at least glad that I was able to get this surgery, and they are indeed bigger. I actually have cleavage, and there's a certain sense of euphoria that I get every time I'm eating like a French fry or a chip or something, and it falls down there, and I'm like, ooh, I have to pick this out, and just like eat it. It's great. It feels so validating to have that, and I'd never had that before. And it's a weird thing to say because it's just like, that's such a small thing, right? But that's just how it is. And in other terms of recovery bits, you know, pooping sucks after recovery. Just all kinds of pooping. And I don't know why that necessarily is, but apparently a lot of it has to do with the anesthesia that they give you, on top of a few other bits of like pain medicines and whatnot, where they're pretty much just telling your body, you know, like, let's ignore the general functions that your body tends to have, and we're gonna like just let it rest. And when you're someone that has been eating food, and I have been eating solid food, because unlike the other one, the bad surgery, the gallbladder surgery, where I had to stay on a liquid diet and then just test myself throughout whether what things I could have or not. This one was far better in that situation. And it was more so to the point of like, just make sure to eat light for a few days, and then you could just go ahead and move on to solid foods. Try to avoid very greasy foods for the first little bits. And the most grease I've really had is In-N-Out slash Carl's Jr., which I really wouldn't call that greasy, especially considering it was like a week and a half way through, and I was just kind of like, I really, really want a burger. And even then, I'm trying to stay away from that stuff and trying to like eat more fruits and try to have vegetables of things and have fish and whatnot. And like, this has been an ongoing thing, not just with the surgery, but with everything else. So you would think, hey, your colon's pretty nice, right? It's probably doing a good bit. No, I found out today of all days, that you could poop hard enough that it will make your nose bleed. And I was so freaked out over that situation. And people were telling me online, like, don't worry about it too much. It's more of a persistent thing. You probably just need to have more fiber. And I'm just kind of like, where the fuck do I get fiber? Because I know I've been needing to add fiber to my diet. I know that. I think I have some gummies that help me poop by just giving more fiber and whatnot. And even then, on top of the whole situation, it was a scary thing because basically, how would I say it this way? Think of a rock trying to come out of you, yes? And this rock kind of has stopped with the muscles that are currently going with you. So it just stopped right at the edge. And you have another rock coming in, going like, why can't I get through? And these muscles over here work. So when the two rocks collide, it's kind of hitting it like this. And it's getting to the point where it's kind of jamming it down the throat to where it will fall out of the little cave hole that's there. And that's effectively what happened. And it went, and then that one had a little bit of trouble. And it was to the point where it felt like, not necessarily I was giving birth, but I was taking something quite big inside me that I was not naturally trained to do. And because of that, I kind of felt like I was dying. And I have to say, this is definitely a wake-up call in terms of the whole entire anal sex thing, where mayhaps I should do some training. Just saying. Still, though, after that, just little bits came out, and I felt fine. But I will say this much, after that particular pull of what felt like hours was more like minutes, and solidly was something that I was genuinely terrified and super tired about. It was to that point where I was like, you know what? I kind of don't want to do anything else today. I really, really don't. But here I am recording it because it's kind of an interesting story. And to be honest, I really feel like I've been slacking a lot when it comes to not just vlogging, but just doing anything in general. And that just happens when you're on surgery recovery mode and you're like, I don't know what I want to do. What should I do here? What should I do there? And it's just really to the point of, I wish I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And I think I'm going to get more in terms of my recordings, and that way the channel gets back up and running, because it kind of stopped abruptly again because I didn't have enough of a backlog to go by, and we're supposed to have a new game that's going to show up soon. And I promise y'all, I really want a new game to show up soon, because me love video game, but it's a constant struggle between how long do I want it, who do I pay to commission the thumbnail artwork, and also how long the fuck is the other game that I have going on. So the same process and situation happens again. And then on top of that, there's collabs, and there's hanging out with friends, and there's just a general sort of thing called depression. Did you know that depression after surgery is a thing? Because I'm starting to think it's a major thing. Because not once, but twice, I have been severely depressed after surgery. And I think a lot of that has to do with the simple fact that the functions that you used to have are just gone. And you have to deal with it regardless of the fact. And that shit's scary as fuck. So it's like getting this little testament of like, you're growing older, but also it's like this for like a solid testament trial. So it's scary. It's very scary. It's very depressing. And more than anything else, you feel helpless about it. And I have to say, not a big fan of the helplessness, not a big fan of the whole I can't do anything, the crying, the just general feel of I need somebody to help me, and if they don't help me now, my pain will only continue to grow. And it's just the fucking worst. I am better though. Me personally, I am doing better. I would not be making this vlog if I wasn't feeling better, if I wasn't feeling out of a funk of things. But I do say this and everything in the same prospect that a friend of mine also tries to record their process of their own personal surgery. And I find that kind of thing particularly inspiring because as someone that kind of went into top surgery without understanding all the consequences and all the little extra bits that were added towards it, you know, you kind of have to learn that it is a major surgery and it's something that comes with a lot of drawbacks, and you're going to have to just work at it. So the fact that I couldn't drive for a bit, for like a solid week, I couldn't drive, I couldn't move my hands to the point where they could touch like this. So that meant no gaming for the first 2 days. I could not lift my hands up to a certain point, because if I did, it meant that it was going to cause issues with these little things over here that I'm touching, just right under the camera, which I'm pretty sure is okay by YouTube rules, but just a little bit lewd enough. Regardless of the fact, it's scary as fuck. Just having to deal with all that situation, and just like, honestly, if I read up more about it, about like all these problems that could happen with the surgery and whatnot, it definitely would have made me feel better of what to expect. So I think the biggest takeaway from all this, everybody, is make sure you know what happens on the after effects of surgery, because if you don't, it's going to hit you a lot harder than it should, and it's probably a good idea to prep for all the little extra time that you're going to have in which you just can't be productive the same way that you usually can. Because otherwise you'll be sitting in bed being really sad and super horny. Or maybe it was just me. I just tend to be very, very horny. Regardless of the fact, I'm back. A dinosaur's tail. Till then, though, everybody, sayonara. Bye-bye.